That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
This is the way. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Tells me I'm also Memphis.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optics, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network, where we discuss film, TV, and everything pop culture related. I'm your host, Christian, and today we're actually starting a new segment here on the podcast titled Music City Verified. It took me about 2 to 3 hours to come up with that name. It was pretty terrible. But this is a segment of the podcast where I'm going to be interviewing up and coming artists in the greater Nashville area or the greater Middle Tennessee area, I think. I really don't know. And I'm happy. This is really weird. I'm sorry, because I also know her personally, but I'm happy to have my first guest here on the podcast with me, Kayla Woodson. How are you doing this afternoon?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Tired.
I see that.
Life's being difficult right now, so I mean, it's a Monday, so you know what I mean?
Well, and the rainbow comes after the rain.
You and those Southern sayings.
I know.
But yeah, so how was your day? Just
good.
Yeah?
Good. Yeah, we played today, so we played a show and then came right over here to talk to you right away.
Did you play the Grease song?
No, we didn't. Not today. We did not today. We actually had a lot of requests today.
Really?
Which is, yeah.
What was
kept us busy.
the number one artist that, was there a certain artist that was kind of the theme of everyone's requests, or kind of just all over the place?
No, it was kind of all over the place, which is nice.
Gotcha.
It keeps us on our toes. We did do the Stars Born song though.
Yes.
Yeah. That you like. Yeah.
It's so good. Shallow is such a good song. That entire album is fantastic. That's what I love about
great.
it. But yeah, so a little bit of housekeeping here before we get into the weeds. We're just going to be interviewing Kayla. She is a very talented artist here in Nashville, and we're just going to get to know her a little bit better. This will be up on the podcast, of course, and it will be on the Music City Drive-In website as its own little personal piece. So that would be a lot of fun. But before we get into today's review, you can listen to this podcast on platforms around the internet. Not sure if I'm going to upload this to YouTube or not as an audio version, just because YouTube's more of a video platform. But I mean, we'll see. But I mean, it is what it is. And you can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X for all of our latest announcements. So, Kayla.
Yes. Wow.
No, it's all right. Yeah, so I just have a few talking points here.
Yeah.
It can just be a more casual conversation. This is actually one of my first times interviewing someone here on the pod. So I guess we'll just start with the first question.
Okay.
What is your first memory of, when you got interested in singing or just performing? Was it always singing or?
Yeah, it was always singing. I remember I personally don't remember. I've seen pictures and videos of this moment, so this is always the one that I tell everyone. But I mean, I've always loved singing. I've always loved music. But I remember my first show I ever did in front of people. I was 4 years old, and I was on a stage at a little festival back home. And I remember someone in the crowd screamed, "Where are you from?" And I remember I got in the microphone like this, and I said, "Mom, where am I from?" Because at that point, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So that's probably the earliest stage kind of memory I have. Music's always just been a part of my life, so I've never not remembered a time without music.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, it's a nice little reminder. So yeah, that is pretty interesting. Kind of just going to. It just seems that a lot of, especially in our friend group, people who kind of just know that, they kind of want to get into this business. It's not something that was necessarily forced on them, but did you play any instruments growing up, or was it mainly just singing for you?
I played I had piano lessons for a while, and I did guitar as well. So I can still dabble on those, but if I had to choose, I would sing any day over.
So what was the number one song you played on your piano? Because my sister also plays piano.
Oh.
Was it Twinkle Twinkle Little Star?
It was one of those, like Mary Had a Little Lamb or something like that. Yeah, it was probably that.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, for me it was, yeah, I think I started with guitar and then dabbled in piano like you, but I was like, yeah, it just wasn't really my thing. But I mean, hey, if you can play the piano, you can play anything. So it's really good stuff. So, I guess coming into like your more tween years, like, the
Tween years.
I'm like really bad at this, so just bear with me.
This is great. Yeah.
So I know you didn't really want, this is like a question that was added last minute, which is fine, but who are some of your influences?
What does it have to do with my tween years?
Well, as in, okay, listen, as you grow up, you listen to a lot of different music. Yes. So you are a country artist. So what are the artists that kind of influenced you, growing up to become a country artist? Or did you want to become more of like a
So you're asking for like my top 3 favorite country artists?
Well, yeah.
Or just...
Yeah, in a way.
I mean, I grew up on 90s country. That was like my big. So I love like Shania Twain, Martine McBride, Faith Hill, all of those powerhouse ladies. My absolute favorite of all time, and anyone knows me, knows this, and you know this. Dolly Parton is like my.
Oh, I thought it was Lady Antebellum.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, they're great.
I'm sorry, like, Lady A.
Growing up, like those were my like main influences. Were like the '90s women of country, Reba, like all those powerhouse women. I feel like that was like the greatest time for country music, especially for women.
What makes you say that? Just curiosity.
I just think they were powerhouses. I think that at the time women thrived in country music, and for some reason the tables kind of turned as the years have gone by. As we all know, I feel like it's kind of harder for women to break out in country music, and I think in the 90s women were equal to, maybe more than men in country music. And we're constantly on the radio. I mean, if you would have listened to the radio in the 90s and early 2000s, the country radio, women were on the radio all the time. Whereas now it's a little bit of the opposite. I mean, we're getting better. It's working,
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, there's been a lot of effort and work put into it. But
yeah, T Swizzle, she's doing her best out there.
Yeah. The tables are turning.
Yeah, I have noticed that. I mean, I'm a big country fan, but I don't know. I guess I have noticed that even just like going through like college years, it has been more of like, yeah, flip. Like there's like a lot of male artists out there now that it seems more than ever. And honestly, like it's just hard to keep up at times. Yeah. And it's like, I guess when a good female artist does, or just any female artist comes in the fold, it almost seems as if, I mean, they do have to like work harder or just to get noticed, or it's, I mean, there's so many people in this industry. It's very hard. Like, I think, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of like a more recent country artist. I mean, I wouldn't really call Meghan Trainor country. She's more pop. Kelsey Ballerini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one. You're doing good.
Well, thank you.
You're doing good.
Well, I just haven't really listened to country in a while because I feel like I had to be in the mood, and like, we're in Music City and it's not the best weather outside right now, but like when it's nice and sunny, that's when I,
Press play on the country.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's that nice leisure, summertime jam, but yeah. So yeah, let's move on to our next question here. More about your upbringing in country. Okay. So did your family support you like for your passion of singing? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, okay, so scratch that. 2 questions. Number 1, did your family support your dream for music, for singing? And does anyone else in your family sing?
Okay, so the first part, yes, 100%. My family basically made like road trips out of my shows. So we would literally like I used to sing a lot of Opries and stuff in Texas. So we'd make weekends out of that. And or like we go to festivals and my parents, my mom was technically, I guess, my manager in a way.
Of course.
My dad and my brother were like my roadies, like, we all had like a job. So yeah, they were always 100% on board and supported me. And I mean, it was always my choice. My parents were always like, if there's ever a day that you don't want to do this anymore, just tell us. We're done. Like, it was never forced on me. It was never anything I had to do. And then, no, I mean, not really. I mean, I am kind of like the weird, ugly duckling that just kind of popped up. I don't know
That's
how
an odd phrase.
Music.
Well, first, before we get into it, you're not going to be able to hear this because you don't have headphones in. But I am going to give a nice little round of applause for Kayla's family for supporting her during her future endeavors and what she's been up to. So that's a lot of clapping going on right there. I promise. Good. So you're the black sheep in a way of your family.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, no, music was always around in my family. My grandpa liked to play a little bit, and he had a band. And I have like a distant relative or two that is into music.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, not super distant, but not like my parents.
Yeah, your immediate family.
But yeah, no, I just kind of, I don't know where I came from. Honestly,
that is a very true statement. Where did we come from?
No, I don't know how I would explain that to a child if they asked me.
It's like, well, there's a stork involved and whatnot, but no, it's all right. So you are the only. So I guess, does anyone else in your family have like any talents besides singing? Like, do they draw or?
I mean, my dad's really good at drawing. He used to do all my projects in school.
Lazy Kayla.
He was always the artist. Yeah, I mean, my brother and my dad were both state championship wrestlers, so that was their thing.
Very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen them; they're fit.
That is very true.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't. I'm just random. I don't know. There's no good answer. Anytime someone asks me that question, it's so funny. Like, anybody else in your family singing? I'm like, nope, I'm random. Like,
It's just, everyone has their own interests, and it's normal for families. I mean, sometimes one of my friends back home, he comes from I think fourth generation musicians. It's all of them, but everyone has different interests. Some people like to draw, some people like to sing. So
yeah, and I mean, music's always been a forefront. I mean, my mom was very into the country, so me and her listened to a lot of 90s country together, and all those powerhouses, and and my dad loves 80s rock. And
I was actually about to ask you, is there any other genres besides the country?
Yes, I love 80s rock. I mean, you've been to our show,
Unfortunately. No.
Wow. Okay.
I'm more of a Led Zeppelin kind of fan, I ride with Dylan.
No, I do like the 70s too. I love me some Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, of course.
One of my favorite bands of all time. But I love Journey. I love AC/DC, Def Leppard, all the fun, that my dad.
Jane Fonda.
My dad had me listening to that, so I grew a love for that.
That's good.
Early on, so I kind of have both the country and the rock kind of side of it, I guess. That
it's a nice combination,
and I try to portray that in my music as best as I can.
Okay, all right, interesting. Yeah. So, I guess moving on here. So, I understand, you have a lot of singles out there. How many songs would you say that you've written that, just in general, how many songs, do you like writing songs? Are you?
Yes, I love it.
The other day you told me no. That's interesting. I'm just joking.
I was like, no, I wasn't there for that conversation.
I'm just trying to throw you off.
Oh, man. I couldn't tell you. I mean, at least.
Or just a ballpark of what you may think.
Hundreds? I mean, a lot. A lot of songs. I mean, all the singles that I have out, I've written or co-written. So
okay. How many singles do you have out there for the lovely listeners?
I'm counting on my fingers now. You can't see that. As of this Friday, it'll be 7.
Oh, lucky number 7.
Yes.
Nice.
So I released the EP, which has 5 songs in 2016. Released Unfixable in 2018. And then 2021, we're releasing Watch Me.
Ooh, that's a lot of fun. Very exciting. So I guess moving on here, I know I'm literally just going through all these questions.
No, you're good.
It was, like I said, it was a long work day. I had like finite enough, like I'm out of time to like get this done. And I wish I could ask a little bit more, but so, talking about your musical history, I understand that you were on, the Voice a couple of years ago. Yeah. So I guess what I wanted to ask you, how was that experience, and would you ever consider giving it another try?
Okay, so 2 parts. It was a great experience. I mean, I definitely don't regret doing it. I think, when an opportunity like that comes, you should definitely try your hand at it and see, how it goes. Yeah, I don't have anything like negative to say.
Oh, no.
You're not getting the juice.
No.
Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, if I had the opportunity to go back, I would for sure. I think it's definitely funny being in that moment than watching it, versus watching it on TV. You learn a lot more about what goes into it and, what the process is more like and behind the scenes kind of stuff. So that was interesting to see that point of view of it. Yeah, it was a great opportunity. I get to basically live in LA for a little while, which is cool.
Nice. That's awesome.
Have
you ever been there prior?
No.
How was it?
I take that back. I've been to LA probably when I was younger, maybe once, but it wasn't like that. Like it wasn't like
Louisiana?
A long stay.
I'm just kidding.
Not that LA. Yes. No, it was great. I love the weather there. I mean, it is packed though. It's very like
crowded.
You think Nashville's crowded and it's expensive. LA is, yeah.
West Coast, best coast. That's what they say. So
I loved it though. I mean, like I could walk outside and I mean, you wouldn't know anything about this, but like I could walk outside and do my hair and it would stay, like it wouldn't fall. It wouldn't, like.
I know that feeling.
So I like the dry air and the sunshine. But yeah, it's a whole different world. But it was a cool experience for sure.
Who are your judges again? During that season, it's been a while since I've actually watched The Voice.
Blake, Adam, Kelly. It was Kelly's first season.
Kelly Clarkson. Okay.
Kelly Clarkson and Alicia Keys.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I did hunt that video down.
Oh, great.
I had to see for myself because you told me about it. And I was
had a feeling, yeah.
You were like, well, it's not on YouTube anymore, so.
Well, apparently it is.
It's all right. And I did watch this before. I thought you did a phenomenal job. I was actually very surprised that no one, but like you said, there's always another time.
Yep.
I think you definitely should, but that's just, me talking. But I guess that's pretty much all the questions that I had. Like I said, but was there anything you kind of wanted to, let the listeners know about, like what's up on your agenda, or anything that you would like to express to the listeners out there that, you've always wanted to kind of just talk about? I don't know. Just opening up the floor to you.
Oh, okay. I mean,
it's a normal conversation.
Yeah. I mean, coming up wise, I mean, we've been playing a lot. Luckily, things are starting to open up more with COVID. So, a lot of the venues that we did play or like little festivals here and there are starting to open. So that's been nice. Starting to get our flow back a little bit,
Yeah.
New music's coming, like I said, this week.
This week? What day this week?
Friday.
April
23rd.
April 23rd.
Got new music coming out, which is exciting because I haven't had new music in about 3 years, which is crazy.
Has it been that long?
Yeah. Sometimes I think I get so busy that I just forget, and then I go look at the date and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I've gotten better. The good thing with COVID has been that I've had a lot more time to focus on music stuff. So like I already have the next single recorded, ready to go, so like once I do this, I'll have another one ready. And that's the first time in a long time I felt like, I took a lot of time with COVID and like quarantine to be able to work on music and to be able to write and record and, because, everyday life, you get so busy sometimes that you don't
just take the time to kind of just do the things that you love. I know that feeling.
Yeah. And I mean, I think for a lot of people, I guarantee you I'm not the only person that's going to say this, but I feel like quarantine and everything really was a blessing. I mean, COVID obviously was terrible and, I had a bad family experience with it. So I know that it was not great as per se, but for me personally, it was a blessing to be able to slow down and to be able to be like, okay, this is what I need to do for myself and my dreams and my, so that was nice to be able to do that. And it's given me the opportunity to release new music like this and to be able to focus on things that I probably wouldn't have thought of,
Yeah, that is true.
So yeah, it's been great. I'm super excited. This new single, Watch Me, is kind of like in a way, an homage to 90s country and like those women that I listen to. It kind of has that vibe. It's obviously sassy, as we all know.
You haven't written a love song in a while.
I know. It is sassy. It's fun, and that's all I wanted. Like I just wanted. I'm at a point where if I enjoy the song, and I think it's fun, and it fits what I want to put out in the world, I'm just gonna do it, and that's where I'm at right now. And I think this song it's just fun. And there's no agenda to it, I guess would be the word. Like it's just something that we wrote. I wrote it with my friend Andrew Peoples, who also produces all of my stuff. He's written Aim for the Flame with me, Crushin', Unfixable, all those songs. And just,
so
we work really well together. No, it's not.
I know it wasn't.
We work really well together, and we wrote this song and it was fun. It was something different, and it was a song that I feel like I tend to put out a lot of serious songs or songs about, that are big vocally. And this one, it just felt more fun. It felt more laid back, more chill. I could see this song. We play this song all the time. I mean, you've been to our shows. We play this song all the time. So yeah.
I actually haven't played an original in a while. I actually noticed that.
I played one today.
Oh,
I played one today.
One
Someone
time I'm
asked
not
for an
there.
original. It's amazing. Man, it makes me so happy when people play an original song. Because half the time, we get covers and
that's how Broadway is, though. Like, to be completely honest, it's like the same 25 songs.
Well, and I'll usually have friends there, like you or like some of our other friends that are like, play a Kayla Woodson song, But today, someone was there and they asked for an original, and I did not know the person. So that was nice.
Yeah, we're like the kind of people in the crowd with like the hat and like the shades. It's like, hi, can you play a Kayla Woodson original? It's like, I've never met you before, but you seem like a nice person kind of thing. Yeah, but no, that is nice. Yeah. And I've noticed that even with like, because you guys usually play a Big Machine Vodka at both locations. Yes. There was another place you guys played. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of it. It was a nice establishment. It was like a writer's round kind of thing. Bigger play. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, it's just, I guess, performances like that where people actually, or artists in Nashville actually get to, show what they're made of and what they have to offer and the stories that they want to tell. Because like you said, it's usually, the same songs you hear, Luke Bryan, Florida Georgia Line, like everywhere else. But I mean, Nashville's a tourist town sometimes. So a lot of people who come down there aren't even from the area. So it's like,
oh, for sure.
You can barely find a unicorn nowadays. So.
Yeah. Yeah, if you are born and raised in Nashville and you still live here, you're basically a unicorn.
Yeah, it is very rare. Like when I first moved here, I thought everyone's gonna have a Southern accent. I was super excited, I was like 25% right. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of Southern accents still, but they're not like Tennessee. You're going to get like Texas and Alabama and Georgia.
Unfortunately, but no, it's all right. But yeah, those are pretty much all the questions I had for you. And, you know, you have a new single coming out. So that's very, very excited.
Very exciting.
Tell the people where they can find you on the internet, the socials.
Yeah. So Instagram and Twitter, it's just the letter K and then Woodson Music. Facebook is Kayla Woodson Music. KaylaWoodson.com website. And then the music you can find on Spotify, Apple Music. Honestly, I always tell people anything with HTTPS, I have it. So literally, you could find me anywhere.
That means? No,
no, I don't know what it means, but I know that every time, it's there.
Yeah.
So
That's
I feel like I learned what it meant in school, like in elementary school, but I can't tell you what it means.
I couldn't tell you what it means right off the bat right now, and but I know what you mean. But yeah, that's really great. You know, it seems that you're working as hard as everyone else. So it seems that quarantine's been a blessing. It's been very kind to you for a lot of people out there who have had a lot of time on their hands.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's amazing what you can do at that time, and just depending on what you want to do at that time, it kind of it's like endless for creators, so it's for artists and stuff like that. So it seems that everything's on the up and up.
Yes, it is.
Catch Kayla Woodson on the next season of The Voice.
Yeah. Spoiler. No, kidding.
oh my God. Breaking news. But yeah, so that pretty much concludes this interview. Of course, Kayla, thank you for stopping by and, informing all the wonderful people of the Film Optix community. I think people listen to this podcast. I'm not sure, but yeah, so that pretty much concludes this interview. We'll definitely be doing more in the future. Not sure when that'll happen, but it is what it is. But of course, we have a lot of things coming up here on the podcast. Mortal Kombat review, maybe at some time. By the time people are listening to this, I think our the Mitchells versus the Machines movie review will be coming out. That's coming out on Netflix. Add it to your list.
Okay.
It's very good.
And
very, very good.
Everything else that you've given me to watch.
Have you actually watched everything else that I've given you?
Almost. Getting there slowly.
You did not watch Malcolm and Marie, but I
haven't watched that yet. No.
It's a lot of yelling back and forth, but you're smart to kind of put that one on the back burner. And then I think besides Mortal Kombat, we have our Falcon and Winter Soldier review coming up. I think that will be the season finale, and then our Invincible review as well. All those should be up by the time this is out. So I haven't decided when this is going to release, but it's just been a crazy week. So I'm half vaccinated. I got to get my other shot sometime this weekend. So that'll be a lot of fun. And before we close out for today's interview, I would like to play Kayla Woodson's new single titled Watch Me here on the podcast for all you lovely listeners. It drops on Friday, April 23rd on Apple Music and Spotify. Spread the love by giving her a follow on Instagram and Twitter. Hope you guys have a great week. And here is Kayla Woodson's new single titled Watch Me.
I guess it's too much to ask for a hand with the trash every once in a while. You never offer to help, just watch me washing myself when all those dishes are piled. Go ahead, take one last look at what you got before it's gone for good. And watch me walk away with all that I can carry loaded in the back of my truck. No, you're not gonna change, and I don't care anyway. So hey, don't bother getting up. Do that thing where you just kick up your feet, relax in your front row seat, and watch me. stress you out if you had to get off the couch and miss the football game. You're on your third rum and coke, you want to sip while it's cold, don't you dare move a thing.